Hi, Damaris.
Hi, Steve.
Welcome to the Personal Development Challenge.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. So tell us about Damaris. I know you're an author, you are a founder and CEO. So let's begin from being the founder and CEO before we talk about the book at length. Tell us about Qazini.
Right. So I am the founder and the CEO of Qazini. Qazini is online platform, online media platform that is seeking to drive systemic change in our societies with content that drives audiences from apathy to possibility, content that helps us transform the way we view our own capabilities. So the idea behind this is I looked around and I saw so much apathy in our society, so much negative content, especially from and about the African continent. And I said, it's about time we changed our narratives. It's about time we came from a place of empowerment. And it's about time we did things a little bit differently because the same old ways of Africa is a dark continent where nothing good comes out of here. They have failed us in the past. So that was the idea behind Qazini.
Great. And so to find Qazini for anyone listening is qazini.com with a Q.
Qazini with a Q.com.
Dot
Yes,
com, yes.
yes,
I have been on
yes.
that platform. It's been a pleasure also writing for Qazini and
It
amazing
has.
content there. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you,
So let's
Steve.
jump right into it. Author, tell us about your book in one.
Yes, Different Parts One Journey is something I did actually under the umbrella of Qazini. This is my book, Different Parts One Journey. And
Yes.
Different Parts One Journey is basically a book about the different parts we all have in life. We all have our unique parts and that we take in life. From the time we're born, we go through different experiences. No one person goes through the same experience, even if you're born in the same family. So our paths are all different, but our journey is one, and our journey is the journey of life. So this book is really about people honoring their journeys in life, not trying to be anything than who they are, and exploring their full potential. And what I did is I interviewed a couple of about 23 different Kenyans who
Mhm.
have all decided to determine their own unique paths in life,
Yeah.
despite what society told them. We live in a society which tells us, gives us a definition of success. And the definition of success is usually go to school, go to university. And when you go to university, make sure you study certain courses, medicine, law, architecture, engineering, um, and then go and make a lot of money. And that is society's general definition of success.
Yes.
But we see more and more that that is a flawed definition because success can mean many different things to many different people. So, what I've done in this book is compressed stories of uh, different Kenyans from all walks of life who
Mhm.
made the decision to determine their own paths in life and have defined success on their own terms.
Yes.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what this book is about.
Perfect. And so, again, in a nutshell, that I think sounds more like what we want to talk about today, which is finding your true north. And so, in a nutshell, what do you understand by true north?
True North. True North is it's a big word because when you think of True North, it's more like related to a compass, right? Like
Mhm.
the Earth's true north, right?
Yes. Yes.
And to me, I think that word, yeah, definitely emanates from that. And it really speaks to one's own personal journey and finding meaning in their own personal journey, finding that thing that makes them feel happy, that makes them feel content,
Mm.
that is authentic to them
Yeah.
and them alone,
Yeah.
which is, yeah, related very much in what I talk about in my book about finding that thing that makes you tick and being comfortable with it without the societal pressures that come with just being a human being generally.
Yes. Yes. I mean that is very interesting because recently we had this conversation about meeting expectations, and creating experiences. And I think when it comes to meeting expectations, then sometimes you don't depend on your true north. You depend on, I don't know which north there is, but you depend on what society requires of you. And so you're tempted to just be ticking boxes into what society wants you to have and to be, and everything else. But coming back to finding your true north, in your experience and from the book and from the people you interviewed, did you make the conclusion whether do we find our true north or our true north finds us?
Okay, from my personal experience, because I really like talking about these things from my personal experience, especially
Yes,
when it comes to personal development. A lot
yes,
has been said out there, and there's a lot of concepts out there, but I really like to relate a lot of it to what I've gone through, because that is really, it rings very true to me. So from my experience, it includes my personal experience, and of course the people I spoke to and interviewed for the book, Different Parts, One Journey.
yes.
And I would say it's even when we talk about finding your true north, it looks like it's something, it makes it could put pressure on someone. Like, unless you found your true north, then you've not,
Mm,
you have to keep looking. And for me, that doesn't it doesn't resonate with me and my journey. For me, my journey has been just living life and going through the necessary experiences. And many of them have been challenges along the way. I've lived long enough to kind
mm,
of go through a lot, whether it was in my schooling years, whether it was my work years, whether it's from the fact that I'm a parent, I'm a mother of two children. So I've learned a lot of things along the way. And for me, I feel like I'm in a place where I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So in a sense, you could say I have found my true north. How did I find it? I think it's through the experiences that I've gone through. It's very difficult to determine um, what your true north is without having lived life and seen what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then putting all that together and having determined what your values are, what your motivations are, and who you really are,
mm,
and then couple all that with your real life experiences, and
mm.
then you'll have determined that, okay, I'm happy here now. I think this is where I'm meant to be. Of course, the journey for me is constantly evolving, right?
Yeah,
Like for you, I'm sure, for your journey, I'm sure you also have a
mm,
journey that,
yeah,
our journeys are constantly evolving. So there's no place you get to and then you say, Nimefika, I've arrived.
yes, yes.
It's a continual process.
Mm,
But what I can say is right now, where I am at, I'm very comfortable in who I am, in what I'm doing, in what I've achieved, and I'm also really looking forward to the future.
great. So you are alluding to an internal compass of sorts where you get to a point and you feel like, yes, this is it.
Yeah, it is an internal compass, and it's directed by all those things that I said.
Mm,
And I think the important thing to note here is not to put pressure on yourself,
ah,
um, to be cognizant of the fact that, yes, it's important to find my true self,
yes.
but also go through the processes. I think there's a word, I can't remember it right now, but just yeah, just live the journey. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So that you're not as you go through something, go through it. Actually go through
mm,
it so that you come out on the other side having gone through it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, do you think sometimes we can also stumble on our true north? Like, I don't know if it's accident or destiny or I don't know what you call it, but I think sometimes, for example, I know you may have hiked. Sometimes I go for hikes, and maybe the map is not working, everything does. Then by chance you find yourself at the top of the mountain or the place where you wanted to go by sheer accident, or I don't know whether it's accident, I don't know whether it is instincts, I don't know whether, but do you think someone can actually stumble into their true north?
Absolutely 100%. And I
Ah,
think that's probably the best way to get to your true north, right?
yes, yes.
Because And I think as when you stumble in it, it can actually surprise you. It may be something you may never have
Mm,
even thought about, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's why I'm saying, like, I can go back to, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
yes,
As you live life, you could actually stumble on something which makes a lot of sense to you that you may
yes.
not have thought of previously. So,
Um,
yes, the answer I think to that is an absolute yes, you can stumble on it.
so do you think there is supposed to be a stepwise process towards finding a true north, or a general way to find it?
I think it I think the important thing is to be true to yourself, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? I
So
think
it's
if you're true to yourself,
mm,
then the steps just kind of fall into place.
sure.
You know, not doing things because excuse me, not doing things because this is what is expected of you,
Yeah,
or this is what my friends have achieved, so I
yeah,
need to achieve the same,
yeah.
but just kind of being true to yourself. One of the questions I asked, one of the recurring questions I asked in
Mm,
different paths one journey, I asked the people I interviewed was, what is your definition of success? And like I said earlier, there's this cookie cutter definition of success in society, which
mm-hmm.
is like, to be successful, you have to be driving this car, living in this area, have 2.5 kids, you know, and there's this, and that is like success. But many of the people I spoke to were telling, they have very different definitions of success.
Yeah, yeah.
Success could just be living in the mountains. Success could
Mm,
be uh, looking after your family. It could be
mm,
making millions of dollars. It could
mm,
be helping other people.
yeah.
So there's so many different ways to determine success. And that goes back to what you just said about the fact that I don't think you should have like specific steps. I don't think there are specific steps to reach this
Mm,
true north of yours.
yeah,
I think the most important thing is to just be true to yourself
yeah,
and listen to your heart.
yeah.
Do the things that give you joy.
Mm,
Um, Take on challenges that you may not necessarily, do some uncomfortable things as well,
yeah.
you know. And then
Mm.
along the way, you might stumble upon that true north that you may not have thought of previously.
That's an interesting one, that you just go out there and try stuff, because it is interesting how people, in the name of trying to meet the societal expectations, just do the limited things that are there. I think it is interesting that someone can just go there and try something new. And one of the questions I keep asking people is, when was the last time you tried something for the first time? And the answers I get are usually very interesting, because it someone said, when you do something new, you even don't operate with the same brain. The
Yeah,
same brain you had, the brain you had before you tried something new, and the one you have after trying something new are two different brains. Of course, you're talking about brain wiring, and the fact that you have experienced something new. And I think then the challenge becomes that we go out there and try something new, and perhaps we may stumble upon something.
absolutely. I think that's a perfect way to just sum it up, because it is, and the phrase I was looking for was trust the process.
Ah,
Trust the process, and
mm,
get out there and just live. And like, your journey is very unique to you.
yes, yes,
So as long as you can honor yourself and honor your own journey,
yeah.
then I think the world is really for your taking.
Different journeys,
Different paths, one journey.
different paths, one journey.
That's it. Yeah.
Different paths, one journey. And I
Yeah.
think that sums it up. And so, thank you very much, Damaris. I would ask you if you have one last thing to say, and then we kill it there.
I think what I have to say is a question to you.
Yes.
Have you found your true north?
Oh, yes. That's a good question. I would say this. Yes, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So I have a sense of where my true north is. And sometimes I usually say, it is better to be at least facing the right direction than running in the wrong, to be standing and facing the right direction than to be running very fast towards the wrong direction. But I know I have this feeling that, yes, I have found where I want to go. I am on my way there, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
And
It's a destination. It's a destination, I think, that yeah, all of us in essence are probably just seeking that underneath everything, right?
okay, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And if I may throw the question back to you now that you started it. Have
Yes.
you found your true north, Damaris?
Yes, I am, like I said, I am exactly where I am supposed to be in my life at this moment with what I've
Mm,
achieved
yeah.
with yeah, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I really can't wait to see how the future unfolds for me.
I think you brought in a good perspective to this with that question. And sometimes you talk to people who are going through stuff, people who are going through heartbreaking moments, people who are going through amazing life moments, people who are going through very uncertain times. Do you think all these things still condense together to showing direction, or how should life experiences then be handled so that they also lead us somewhere?
Yeah, I think every life experience is valid. You know, when you're going through some difficult times, what the moment when you're going through them, you don't want to go through them. They're difficult, you know?
Yeah.
You want those things to go away. Um, but I think they're very important in shaping the person that you eventually become. When I
Mm,
look back at the difficult times I've had to go through, and there have been several, you know, in the moment, I
mm,
hated them.
mm,
But right now, they say hindsight is 2020. When I look back, I feel like those experiences were absolutely 100% necessary for me
mm, mm,
to
mm.
make me who I am today.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing that probably the mistake we do is waste our experiences. And by waste our experiences, I mean you go through an experience and you don't learn from it, or you
Mhm,
don't take
mhm.
away anything from it.
Yeah.
It just becomes a wasted experience. But the minute you can go through an experience and you learn from it and it helps you grow and it helps you handle a similar situation in a different way, or it
Mm,
helps you help somebody else, or
yeah.
it helps you inspire someone, then that
Yes.
experience is 100% necessary.
Agreed.
But I think I can only speak this being on the other side, because when you're going through it, I know it's extremely difficult.
Yes, yes, yes. I think that's a good point to end it, that whatever we are going through, we keep going, and whatever we are going through could as well mean the place, that the thing that reveals to us what we want to be. Thank you so much, Damaris Agweyu. This has been the Personal Development Challenge, and until next time, keep watching.